Good morning, everyone, and welcome to my presentation organized by Oriental Public School. Now, let me start by saying a few words about my own background that I am Ravina Khan, resource person of this in-house training. My talk is particularly relevant to those of person who are suffering from disability, and this talk is designed to act as a springboard for discussion. Now, let me start. Now, here, the first question comes, what is learning disability? And most of us, we know the answer that learning disabilities are the problems that affect the brain's ability to receive, yeah, and process, analyze, or store information. And these problems can make it difficult for a student to like learn as quickly as someone who isn't affected by learning disabilities. Yeah. And if we talk about the types of learning disabilities, then there are some types you can see over there: dyslexia, dyscalculia, dysgraphia, dyspraxia, CAPD, non-verbal learning disorder, and language disorder as well. Now here, if we talk about dyslexia, yeah, here you can see dealing with reading and writing problems. In dyslexia, there's a problem in children of reading and writing. Commonly, we can see in your most probably we can see in our classroom as well in junior sections. Students are not able to recognize that a small letter of B is not B or P is not a Q. Yeah, here dyslexia. So what is dyslexia? People with dyslexia usually have trouble making the connections between letters and sounds, and with spelling and recognition words. We can also say that people with dyslexia often experience other symptoms like failure to fully understand what others are saying, or difficulty organizing written and spoken language, or we can say that delayed ability to speak as well. There are some myth and fact. Yeah, 5 myth and facts about dyslexia. What is the myth is that dyslexia is something children will outgrow, but the fact is that children with dyslexia continue to face challenges as they grow. And some myths are also over there. Dyslexia is just a problem of visual perception, but this is only the myth. But the fact is that studies show that dyslexia have difficulty at the phenomenon level, and it does not come seeing the gender or caste like girls or boys. Okay, but the fact is that it affects on girls and boys equally, and boys are more likely to be referred by schools for diagnosis. Okay, some of it. Now let's moving to this, how to deal with dyslexia. I've given you some pattern of dealing with dyslexia. Your first one is letter recognizing, like saying the student that say correct letter for correct word. Means we have to only make them recognize about the word, means letter. Yeah, if we are giving one word, then let them say the correct letter. And second one is stroop test, by saying the color, not letter. Let them this pattern like green. Green is in green color. We all know that. But with the dyslexia students, they don't know that is it blue or is it green or is it purple. Now, the third one is find 20 or 4-letter words. That means find 20 4-letter words like cook. Here I have given you one example, COOK, cook, 4 letters. Yeah. Or we can say book also, TYPE, type also, these things. Now, moving to another one, dysgraphia. First, we must know that what is dysgraphia, or we can say that dysgraphia is characterized by problems with writing. So there are some books available in market which have tracing patterns, and by using this method books, they will, I think they will slowly improve. Here you can see one example over here. I've given handwriting activities. Yeah. The first one is handwriting activity. Let them make their own handwriting, and by tracing, second one is tracing patterns, and third one is tracing lines. These three are equally same. And as I've already told you that there are lots of books available in markets which have tracing patterns. And usually we used to do in our junior sections as well. Talking about third one, dyscalculia. So in our school also mathematics teachers will know that what is dyscalculia. The means that is a sign of this disability, including problems understanding basic arithmetic concepts such as fractions, number lines, and positive and negative numbers. Some of us have also this kind of a problem, dyscalculia. We don't like this kind of mathematics, like such as fractions, number lines, positive or negative numbers. Other symptoms also include in this dysgraphia, that is difficulty with maths related word problems, trouble making change in cash transactions, messiness in putting math problems on paper, or trouble recognizing logical information sequences. Now, a person with the dyscalculia, how to deal with dyscalculia, students. Here, I've given you one chart that drawing of a clock. A normal students or a good readers, how they used to draw this clock, you can see at the upper side of this uh, diagram. And below this, there is a clock drawn by a poor readers, or we can say that this is drawn by dyscalculia children. So by this format, we can tell them also the value of the art and the time value also. Next one is calculation trick. There is a lot of method to do the calculation trick by counting paper, the counting stone. Yeah, there is lots of tricks. And the third one is multinational mathematics, multisensory mathematics. Here, we have seen over here place value role. Yeah, we used to teach in our classes also the place value of the numbers, ones, tens, 100,000. How to teach them? How to teach that students suffering from dyscalculia by showing this pattern also. We can teach them what is multisensory mathematics. Now, the next one. Next one is the person suffering from dyspraxia, and it is commonly the problem with motor tasks such as hand-eye coordination that can interfere with learning. Some other symptoms of this condition includes also problem organizing oneself and one things, breaking things, trouble with tasks that require hand and eye coordination, means looking at the some side and doing other things. This kind of a problem they are suffering from. Now, we can say that there is a myth how it is caused, because if we have fever also, na, then our neighbors used to say that, oh, don't go there, this is communicable disease. Yeah, some myths are over also there, how it is caused. Is it due to some chronic disease? I'm asking to my participants also that is it due to chronic disease, or they are crazy or stubborn? Due to stubborn also they are doing this kind of a thing, or they are lazy. But here my answer is a big no. It is not due to crazy or stubborn or laziness. It is actually due to heredity. We can say that some of the points are there like a heredity, or problems during pregnancy and birth, or due to accident after birth also. If we talk about heredity, then how it is caused? So there is an answer that due to heredity, it may means they may have learning disabilities. Children with learning disabilities are likely to have parents or other relatives with similar difficulties. Or if we say that it is this problem is during means occurs during pregnancy and birth, then we can say that learning disability can result from anomalies in the developing brain, illness or injury, or we can say that fatal exposure to alcohol or drugs, low birth weight also. or maybe of oxygen deprivation. No, and the third one is also, we can say that accidents after birth. Learning disability can also be caused by head injuries or malnutrition or by toxic exposure, such as heavy metals or pesticides, using of pesticides. Now, here are types of assessment. We can see what type of assessment should we give to those children. First one is testing for learning disabilities, usually involve three primary types of assessment: testing of intellectual or cognitive potential, testing of information processing or sensory motor abilities that are indicative of a learning disability, which I've already told you in this dyspraxia, and assessment of current educational achievement. If we talk about the assessment, okay, normally in normal language, no, we can say that assessments can be used in evaluating skills in the primary academic, like in our school also we can do this, which lots of children are over there who have the problem of reading or calculating or understanding the words, understanding the statements also. So how, what kind of assessment we have to do? We can make them read, yeah, reading including word recognition or fluency, and we can give them comprehension, including mathematics, computation, and problem solving, like writing expression, or we can include handwriting as well, spelling and composition. How to do? So this is the question, that how to do. Then we can take dictation in our class. Yeah, the first example is that we can take dictation in our class, whether it is of word dictation or it is of paragraph dictation. They will know well what is the spelling of the sentence or what is the spelling of that word. uh, Next thing is that this students' perpetual problems may require a different presentation of learning material. For example, a visual learner will have difficulty learning from a lecture. That means this kind of a students will better learn with the visual perception, not by our lecture. Uh, which will require auditory skills, a note taker or individual tutoring, both of which may be supplied by us, and it may be required. On the other hand, a student who has difficulty with writing symbols may need to use a like reader or a tape recorder as well. We can use tape recorder, and sometimes in our school also we used to do smart classes. Why smart classes so necessary? uh, because by this smart class, so it helps students who are the visual learner. Yeah, visual learner will learn with that smart classes, and this is very helpful for the visual learner students. Hmm. If you talk about the students who has written work appears careless, may not be able to communicate effectively in writing. Example, like mathematicians, scientists, yeah, and other who have poor reading and writing skills due to learning disabilities. Although a learning disability cannot be cured, its impact can be lessened through instructional intervention strategies. Yeah, and these are the things. Now, let us move in our next topic over here. Here you can see the pie chart in India. Okay, I'm talking about only just India, not about the whole world. Here in India, 45% of disabled people uh, are means they need special care. Yeah, because and they are illiterate also. Here, 45% of disabled people with special needs in India are illiterate. This is the pie chart. Here you can see the high range of illiteracy, yeah, and primary but below middle 3.5, yeah, means that means 13%. Literate but below primary is this you can see 10.4%, and middle but below metric, that is 12.6 and 8.9, or we can say 4.4. Now, coming to the last point, I have that last point that we live in India. Yeah. And India is one of that country which allows us to have our own right by implementing laws. And if anyone have difficulties like dyslexia or dyspraxia, etc., then it does not mean that they don't have any right or security. Like we have we have got our own rights, yeah, and there are lots of laws for us, there are lots of act for us, and same as these disabled people have also some rights and security given by our government. So our government have implied such act also for these children's, like 504 and 508. Yeah. So what are these? In here, number one, section 504, yeah, prohibits discrimination on the basis of disability in programs and activities that receive federal. Here, section 508 and 504 is the Rehabilitation Act of 1973. That means that no individual with disability should be denied or rejected from school participation and from receiving programs. Yeah. Section 508 says that concentrates on accessibility of assistive, which makes strong recommendation for web accessibility. Uh, this only covers federal agencies or state agencies that receive Take Act funding. Yeah. If we talk about the Americans with Disabilities Act, then the 2000 in the 2008 Americans with Disabilities Act Amendments Act made significant changes to section 504, providing expand coverage for students with disability not in need of. It is especially designed for instruction as well as those with serious health conditions. Um, Now, if we talk about Elementary and Secondary Education Act, yeah, then there are some act for the elementary and secondary education also, and it involves threats to students with disabilities. Most prevalent among these is the perception that students receiving special educations are persistently low performing and should not be expected to perform at grade level. Now, the accountability framework of No Child Left Behind, that is NCLB, the current version of ESEA, has provided substantial improvements for students and the curriculum at their enrolled grade level and accountability for proficiency on state assessment. And you can see over here, as we have already discussed about 504 and 508. And the last point is that till ill, that means till ill, they will get that act that till ill prohibits disability discrimination. Means till ill, they won't be discriminated by any other people like, oh, this student is suffering from dyslexia, or this student is suffering from dyspraxia. No, it is highly communicable. This kind of a myths are just suffering, they are suffering from this kind of a myths in our neighbors also, yeah, in our surroundings also. So that's why this act is given to them for their security, yeah, that till ill, it prohibits disability discrimination by places of public accommodation. A place of public accommodation covers shares or public entities, including universities or our private schools also, or private, coachings as well. So this all for today. I have just discussed about this disabilities of children, and we can see in our surroundings also there are lots of children who are suffering from disabled. So we should not discriminate. The last thing is that we should not discriminate with this kind of a people or children. They need special care. Yeah, they need special love and affection from us. And normal children, if we are giving a love and affection to our normal children, na, it is more necessary to give this love and affection to these disabled people as well, because it will be cured by not only by applying this process or these theories, by our theory also, that is that love and affection and proper care and guidelines. That's it. Thank you for today.